Libra, Taurus, this month is a pivotal moment for you. The universe is whispering, but it's easy to miss the message amidst the noise of daily life. Today, we're diving into a story that mirrors the cosmic challenges you might be facing. It's a tale about hidden truths, difficult choices, and the power of intuition. This isn't just about astrology, it's about recognizing the patterns in your own life. Imagine a man named Leo, a meticulous architect, a Taurus through and through. He loved order, stability, and the solid foundation of a well-planned life. His world was built around his wife, Clara, a graceful and charming Libra, who brought balance and beauty into his structured existence. They were the perfect couple, or so it seemed. They had just bought their dream home, a beautiful old house that needed a lot of work, but had, as Clara said, good bones. Leo poured all his energy into the renovation, meticulously planning every detail, a blueprint for their future. One rainy Saturday, while clearing out the attic, Leo stumbled upon an old, dust-covered wooden box tucked away under the floorboards. It was locked. Curiosity piqued, he brought it downstairs. Clara saw it and her smile faltered for just a fraction of a second, a detail Leo almost missed. She laughed it off, suggesting they open it together after dinner, a little adventure. But a strange seed of unease was planted in Leo's mind. He was a man who noticed details, and that fleeting shadow in her eyes was a crack in the perfect facade of their life. Later that evening, the storm raged outside, mirroring the turmoil brewing within Leo. Clara seemed unusually quiet, her usual vibrant energy subdued. When Leo brought out the box again, she tried to distract him, suggesting a movie, a glass of wine, anything but opening that box. Her resistance only fueled his suspicion. Why was she so afraid of what was inside? His stable, predictable world was beginning to feel like quicksand. The house he was so carefully rebuilding suddenly felt unfamiliar, filled with secrets he couldn't see. He finally insisted. "Clara, it's just an old box. What's the big deal?" His voice was firmer than he intended. With a sigh of resignation, Clara handed him a tiny, ornate key she wore on a chain around her neck, a chain he'd never seen before. His heart hammered against his ribs. This wasn't some random discovery, it was hers. He turned the key, the click echoing loudly in the silent room. Inside, nestled on a bed of faded velvet, were letters. Stacks of them tied with silk ribbons. They weren't addressed to him. They were love letters, filled with passionate prose and whispered secrets, all written by Clara to another man. The words blurred as he read them. They spoke of stolen moments, of a love that was too wild for a cage, of plans to run away together. The dates on the letters were recent. Some were written just weeks before they bought their dream house. The man they were addressed to was someone Leo knew, his own business partner, a man he trusted. The betrayal was a physical blow, knocking the air from his lungs. The foundation of his life, the very blueprint he had designed with such care, was a lie. Clara was crying, trying to explain, her words a meaningless buzz in his ears. He looked at her, truly looked at her, and saw a stranger. The balance she supposedly brought to his life was a carefully constructed performance. The harmony was a facade. He had been living in a beautifully decorated stage set, and the curtain had just been violently torn down. He walked out of the house he was so lovingly restoring and into the rain, the cold drops doing nothing to cool the fire of rage and hurt burning inside him. His perfect, stable world had crumbled to dust in a single evening. For days, Leo was adrift. He stayed in a sterile hotel room, the clean lines and lack of personality a stark contrast to the chaos in his mind. He was a Taurus, grounded and practical. His first instinct was to tear everything down, to sell the house, to end the business partnership, to erase every trace of Clara from his life. He wanted to build walls so high that no one could ever hurt him again. He met with lawyers, his voice cold and detached as he discussed divorce proceedings. He was on autopilot, driven by pure, unadulterated pain. But then something shifted. Alone in the quiet of the hotel room, he started to think beyond the betrayal. He remembered the small signs he'd ignored, the subtle dissonances in their perfect harmony. Clara's frequent late nights at the gallery, her sudden need for space. He had chosen not to see them, to focus on his blueprint, to in love with the idea of their perfect life, to acknowledge the cracks that were already there. He realized he wasn't just a victim, he was a willing participant in the illusion. This realization was a bitter pill to swallow, but it was also liberating. He understood that he couldn't control others, but he could control his reactions. Instead of destroying everything, he decided to build something new, something just for himself. He went back to the house, alone. He stood in the half-finished rooms, no longer seeing them as a monument to a broken dream, but as a blank canvas. He tore up the old blueprints, the ones he and Clara had made together. He started sketching new designs, not for a family home, but for a space that reflected him. A studio where he could work, a library for his books, a garden where he could find peace. He found a new purpose not in revenge, but in reclamation. He was reclaiming his space, his life, his identity. Clara, the Libra who sought balance, had thrown his world into chaos, but in that chaos, Leo, the Taurus who craved stability, found a stronger, more authentic foundation within himself. The moral of this story for Libra and Taurus this month is profound. Sometimes the universe forces a crisis to reveal a truth we've been avoiding. For Taurus, your quest for stability can sometimes blind you to the instability right in front of you. This month, you might discover that what you thought was a solid foundation is actually built on sand. Don't be afraid to let it crumble. True stability comes from within, not from external circumstances or other people. For Libra, your desire for harmony and to avoid conflict can lead you to live inauthentic lives, creating imbalances that eventually cause chaos. This month, you are being called to face uncomfortable truths and make difficult choices. True balance isn't about keeping everyone happy, it's about being true to yourself, even if it disrupts the peace. This is your worst month only if you resist the change. If you embrace the lesson, if you let the old structures fall away, you can rebuild something far more beautiful and enduring. This is not an end, but a powerful, necessary beginning. Face the truth, find your inner strength, and build your own authentic life. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more insights.